Hey everyone, and welcome to another 30 days of Galactics with our friends from the Collective of Watchers. Now, the Collective of Watchers is a group. There are many of them, so I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about them and then do videos a little bit on some of the others. But this one here is Metshep. Metshep is the captain of what is called a bubble ship, or at least what they called a bubble ship to me. It is a ship that looks like a big bubble, basically, which the word fits. And they were outside of a convention that I was going to that was a paranormal convention. And this was a space with a lot of people, ufology people, Sasquatch people, people who were investigating paranormal activity, those types of things, which also brought in a lot of lower vibrational people. This space was a very heavy energy that I had walked into when I felt it, and a lot of density in this area. Now, I did not go to this convention on my own, essentially. I was in a space of working on trying to see if those spaces would be productive to the work I was doing at the time. I was selling my fantasy books and my spiritual books. Spirit art didn't even exist at the time, those types of things. And so I went to this show, and I was guided there from another show. Actually, there's a video somewhere about, if you search my videos for Kecksburg, Kecksburg, and I'll try to remember to link it in the comments. If I don't remember, just shoot me a comment and then I'll do it. But this event was given to me by an actual physical ET who was walking through a convention. They had seen my table, they passed it right up. I knew energetically this person wasn't interested in my work, and I could also see, I was like, there's just something not right about them. And not right meaning like not human, there's something off, not human. What's going on here? They took a couple of steps back, said, hey, will you go to this event? Didn't even look at my books, didn't pick them up, didn't do anything, just looked at me and went, oh, that's what you do, you should go to this event, I want you at this event, type of thing. So a week later, I got a ping from telepathically from a Zeta, and the Zeta was the being who was walking through the convention. And I went, that was you? And they were like, yeah. And they go, hey, did you ever reach out about this Kecksburg event? And I went, yeah, I never heard anything back from them. And I'm the type of person that if I send you a message and you, like, there's no response, I just take it as Spirit doesn't want me there, you don't want me there, doesn't matter. If you're not, if I'm like introducing myself and you're not responding, type of thing, it's like, it's okay, it's fine. And they went, oh, no. They were like, we want you at this event. We want you there, gritting light and meeting people. And I was like, okay. And the Zeta in my mind, it's a Saturday morning, 10 a.m. maybe, 10 a.m., not very late in the day, goes, oh, no, you're going to that event. I hear it like telepathically, the Zeta Chi. It's almost like they put the phone down, they don't hang up, like in the old days where you picked up the phone and you didn't hang it up, but you put it off to the side, or I guess you do that with your cell phone, just set it off to the side. It's like they put the phone to the side, and they got to work doing something. 30 seconds later, I get a phone call from a woman who is irritated, like very, very obviously irritated that she had to call me. And she calls me and she's like, hey, were you looking to sign up for this event and looking for information? I'm like, yeah, I'd like to do this. And she's like, okay, but she's kind of grumpy about it when she's saying it. And I get the information, she emails it to me, I get signed up for the event. I was guided there by an actual ET walking through a show. And then I get there and I'm like, I walk into this building. It's a little building out in the middle of nowhere. Firehouse maybe, or like a community volunteer firehouse type thing. It is dense. I remember walking in and just kind of being like, wow, why am I here, type of thing. And the reason was greeting light. I had been to paranormal shows. I had never been to a UFO specific show. And so I set up my table, and immediately the two angels I have assigned to me are there. Now, they aren't always around. They come, they go. If I need help, they come. So, and if they're there, if they just show up and I don't call them, if they just like show up, I'm like, something's going on, type of thing. So these two angels show up and they put a big circle around my table, and we sit there. And the show was okay as far as vending, but overall, I spent the show drawing. I wasn't selling spirit art at the time. I was just kind of doing it for on my own terms, doodling and channeling ET messages, talking to them. And I realized there was a ship outside, and I connected first to, where is he at? Reck. I connected first to Reck. Reck was there, and I will never forget how pissy might be the word. I like very, very irritable and just frustrated, and just not the friendliest ET I'd ever met. And until this space and time, I had never really met galactics of any kind or extraterrestrials of any kind who had had an attitude, basically, other than Asho. If you watch my video about Asho had an attitude with me. And Reck was very clear that he had it. He was like, he was basically like, why are you here, type of thing. What are you doing there? And I talked to him. I have a little note here. Does it say anything? Oh, he saw my glow. He was curious watching me and was asking me what I was doing, and I told him writing, and he told me to keep doing it. But he very obviously had an attitude to him too, kind of like the woman did. And then they told me they were with a collective and they wanted to talk. So then the next one that came through was Pulrei. Now Pulrei, I didn't talk too much either. Reck and Pulrei I didn't really speak to. This was Pulrei, and his biggest thing was that he just had a lot of contempt. He was like, my guys are telling me right now Syrian. He's some sort of Syrian energy. But he had a lot of contempt for what people did with the shows. And his contempt was around the military and the way that conspiracy theorists and authors and all these other groups of people have, the word they're using is mockery. Have made a mockery type of certain things and have used it for commercialism. So he was another difficult energy that was there doing his work, but was like in this space of why are we here? And then there was Metshep. He was the next one I met. Metshep is the ship captain. He is the captain of the bubble ship, who immediately wanted to just talk to me the whole weekend and started telling me what they were doing, and said like they were there to take people. And I don't mean to take people and like not bring them back. I mean they were there taking people to upgrade them, to upgrade their vibration and their awareness. And they were outside the show. There was a field they showed me, and they go, the ship's out there, nobody can see it, it's out of vibration, out of phase. And they were monitoring. They showed me how they were monitoring the people walking through, and they go, we're monitoring all these people. You're this big enormous light in this darkness, and there's little pins of lights that were walking through. Like there were a couple other people who were awake and lights beaming through, but the majority of the people there were dark, asleep, very, very non-awake. I even heard one author say he had this author had like 20 books on ufology, paranormal experiences, all that. He even said he had never had an experience in his life, never experienced anything, was very open about it, never saw a UFO. All of this, it was all researched material that he was making money off of other people's stories. And so that was one of the messages Metshep had. He's like, these people need to stop this because they're promoting things they don't understand. His books, that author in particular, had invasion books and fear-based books and all this stuff that I was sitting like 3 tables down from him. I could hear their conversations. They weren't quiet about them at all. And so you could hear what they were talking about. And it's like, why are they doing this and communicating with these beings while they're talking about this stuff? Is fascinating, because you hear the humans talking and then you hear the Galactics giving you a response, and you're asking them, okay, they're hearing through you, so they can hear the conversation through you, and then you ask a question and they're like, well, this is why we want X, Y, or Z. So I'm going to stop this video here. We're at the 10 minute ish mark, and move this to a second version of 30 Days of Galactics. Thank you for watching, and I will continue this in another video. But essentially, you're going to meet Metshep again and some of these other beings. There's 2 more left in the collective, and Metshep is a bubble ship captain I'm still in touch with from time to time. They take people to upgrade them and to help raise their vibration, and have a lot of concerns with the ufology community and the paranormal community, which I'll get to in the next video. Thank you for watching. Grateful for each and every one of you. If you like these videos and want to support the work, please go to awakenwithwillow.com. Love you all.